Hi everyone, my name is Katie Carpenter and my second briefing is going to be on interpersonal communication theories. So we use interpersonal communication every day, whether it's to comfort a friend or family member, handle conflict with a coworker, or even just asking professors for extensions on assignments. We use it every single day in every part of our life. So this briefing is designed to break down the theories behind interpersonal communication and help you understand what to do when people act unexpectedly. So first I'll provide a definition of interpersonal communication, or IPC, so that we all have some context when we're thinking about these theories. And next I'll discuss the four theories mentioned in this chapter, which are politeness theory, the social exchange theory, the dialectical perspective, and the communication privacy management theory. In terms of this class and what the book covered, we'll look at IPC as a blend of definitions. It includes messages that occur between two interdependent persons with a particular focus on how IPC messages are offered to initiate, define, maintain, or further a relationship. So to put this into real life terms, the book uses the example that it's more than just saying a polite hello to the cashier at Vaughn's or at Ralph's and then quickly leaving not to really see them again. So the first theory is the politeness theory, which explains how and why individuals try to promote, protect, or save face, especially when embarrassing or shameful situations arise unexpectedly. So politeness theory, or PT, clarifies how we manage our identities through these interactions. So this theory assumes three things. The first assumption is that all individuals are concerned with maintaining face, and face is the desired self-image that you want to present to others. It can be both positive or negative, and examples of positive is when a person wants to be liked or appreciated or admired, and negative face is where a person wants to act freely or without constraints, or even imposition from others. The second assumption is that human beings are rational and goal-oriented, at least with respect to achieving their face needs. The third assumption is that some behaviors are fundamentally face-threatening. So this means at some point, your behavior will threaten someone else's face, just as at some point theirs will threaten yours. Some examples of these behaviors are apologies, compliments, criticisms, requests, and threats. So in order to save face, a person must use face work, and face work is specific messages that minimize these face-threatening acts. There are multiple forms of face work, and one of them is corrective face work, and this consists of messages that a person can use to restore their own face or to help someone else restore their face. Another form is negative politeness, where one person makes an effort to recognize another's negative face needs. And again, these can come from that person's need for freedom or a lack of restraint that they have. A final form is positive politeness, where one person emphasizes the other's need for positive face. An example of positive face needs is the need to be liked. The second theory that I'll discuss is the social exchange theory, which explains and predicts relationship maintenance. This theory also assumes three things, and the first is that personal relationships are a function of comparing benefits gained versus costs that are needed to attain those benefits. The second is that people want to make the most of those benefits while lessening the costs. And finally, the third assumption is that humans are selfish by nature. There are also three core components that make up social exchange theory. The first core component is that in order to understand this theory, we must acknowledge that relationships have both rewards and costs. So the second is the comparison level, which represents what rewards a person expects to receive out of a particular relationship. The third is the comparison level of our alternatives, which looks at what the alternatives are to staying in a relationship when that person is dissatisfied with the relationship for any reason. The dialectical perspective is the third theory that was discussed in this chapter, and it looks at how individuals sustain interpersonal relationships. The dialectical perspective has four assumptions. First is praxis, which suggests that the development of a relationship is neither linear nor is it repetitive. A second is change, which is just as it seems, that the only sure thing in a relationship is the fact that it's going to change. In fact, we want it to change. The third is contradiction, which suggests that both partners have opposing and necessary needs. The fourth is totality, which recognizes that without interdependence between two partners in a relationship, that relationship cannot exist. The final theory in this chapter is communication privacy management theory. And this theory builds upon the last three because it's concerned with saving face, it recognizes the power of maximizing rewards and minimizing costs, and it recognizes that managing opposing views is key to sustaining relationships. The basic premise is that people create decision-making rules to help them determine when to reveal and when to conceal their private information. So this theory has 6 major principles. The first is the public-private dialectical tension, which refers to competing demands in a relationship. In this situation, these competing demands are revealing and concealing private information. The second is the nature of private information. It suggests that people with this private information makes decisions about what, when, where, how, and with who they share their information. The third principle is that these decisions are regulated by particular privacy rules. The fourth principle is boundaries. We all know what boundaries are. The fifth is boundary ownership, which refers to the rights and responsibilities borne by the owners of the information. So the final principle is boundary permeability, which refers to how much information is easily passed through the boundary. Some of these are more permeable than others, so more information can be passed through than in other situations. So to recap, I discussed what the definition of interpersonal communication is, and described the 4 theories: politeness theory, social exchange theory, dialectical perspective, and communication privacy management, along with the assumptions and principles of each of these theories. If you're looking for any more information, that can be found in Chapter 4 of the Communication Theory textbook, the 2nd edition. Thank you.